With several states considering legislation concerning youth football, many here are wondering, could Texas be next? When Cody Clemens broke his older brother's home run record, he proved that the Clemens name is more than just pitching. The Longhorns wrapped up their easy part of the schedule with a win over Lipscomb, but the real test will come next week in the PK 80 tournament with a matchup against Butler and potentially Duke. The main difference between a men's romper and a women's romper is the looseness of the romper, as well as the colorful design. Matter of fact, I think this is my color. The feature that participants are raving about the most is, as soon as you start pedaling, your RPMs are displayed right on your screen. Even with construction workers still putting the finishing touches on the new Texas Tennis Center, the Longhorns opened it up with a win over UTSA. Life as a walk-on can be tough, from late nights to early mornings, all to maybe earn a scholarship if you are lucky. Jordan Strickland is a former walk-on at the University of Texas, and when head coach Charlie Strong was fired, he went through something even tougher than trying to earn a scholarship.
My family's in Colorado, so I don't have much family here in Texas, so I found someone who I was comfortable with going to about, real life stuff, and they gave me real life responses, and they looked out for me.
When a coach is fired or leaves a program, unlike scholarship players, that walk-on spot is not guaranteed, and it's almost like all that hard work was for nothing. Wasting hard work is something that SMU walk-on Merrick Pierce is trying not to do. Despite his coach Chad Morris leaving the program, Pierce is not going to let this added adversity stop him from reaching his goal.
Well, I've always had a chip on my shoulder, and that's kind of like my move, I guess, but I've transferred so many times, it's like, just start all over again. So, I put the same effort in, I put in with Coach Morris, and it's been working out.
Although Strickland's time with college football is done, he learned a valuable lesson through changing coaches.
I knew I had a different coaching staff, but I knew that work ethic was going to be the same. I didn't say, oh, my favorite coach left and this coach isn't going to care about me. I'm going to sit back. I still went in and did the extra work. I still lifted extra. I just learned that regardless of who's in charge, you determine how good you are.
These lessons learned by both Pierce and Strickland will allow them to tackle anything life throws at them. Justin Honore, Texas News Watch.
We're here to reinstate the dynasty.
From the pages of Harry Potter to the Whitaker IM fields, believe it or not, Quidditch is actually a sport.
Nice, John!
And the UT Quidditch team was once a powerhouse, capping a 3-year title run 3 years ago.
There's a moment where you're at the World Cup and you just realize, you're about to light the tower. And then another moment where you're the best in the world at this. This is it. There's nobody better right now.
To be great, you have to do things differently. And this team is trying to be great again.
Yeah, baby!
Since Quidditch is a combination of football, basketball, and soccer, conditioning is very important, and this year's team decided to make that a focus.
There's definitely been an influx of new drills, but I think the biggest one has just been sprinting at least 5 or so times down the pitch and back after every practice. I feel much better in games. I'm able to stay out there longer, and same for my teammates. Whereas before, I think I would play 4 or 5 plays and just be exhausted.
As well as being in better shape, senior Austin Dixon sees a huge difference in this year's team.
This team is more skilled, and it's less reliant on the major players. We can go from lineup to lineup and give people different looks and different feels. We have shooters, we have cutters, we've got everything. And I think that's what makes us the most dangerous, is we can adapt to situations really well.
That formula might be the spell they need to bring home a championship.
Expecto Patronum!
Baker Mayfield has had an eventful award season, winning the Davy O'Brien, the Maxwell, and being named a Walter Camp All-American. But the Lake Travis product earned one final award Saturday.
This year's Heisman Trophy winner is Baker Mayfield of the University of Oklahoma.
There was speculation on whether or not Mayfield's antics would affect the voting. Clearly not, as Mayfield received 86% of the possible total points, which is the 3rd highest of all time. Mayfield touched on his rare journey from walk-on to Heisman winner.
It's been a tough journey. They showed the videos, walked on twice.
Mayfield is the 6th Sooner to win the Heisman and the first ever walk-on to win. Mayfield will play Georgia on New Year's Day as he hopes to bring the Sooners their 8th national title. Texas has a new athletic director, its 3rd one since 2015. Chris Del Conte will replace athletic director Mike Perrin, who took over for the fired Steve Patterson. Conte has been TCU's athletic director since 2009, which he oversaw TCU's move to the Big 12, as well as the $164 million reconstruction of Amon G. Carter Stadium. Texas football coach Tom Herman commented on the hire, saying, "I'm absolutely thrilled Chris Del Conte will be leading our athletics department. I'm looking forward to a bright future with Chris leading the way." Herman added he worked with Del Conte when they were both at Rice in 2007 and 2008. Big day for high school football in Central Texas. 5 teams looking to advance in the state semifinals, including Baker Mayfield's alma mater, Lake Travis. And let's start with the 6A Division I quarterfinals. Lake Travis taking on San Antonio O'Connor in the Alamo Dome. Current Lake Travis quarterback Matthew Baldwin starts the scoring off for the Cavaliers with a 3-yard touchdown run, 7-0 Cavs. The tie ball game late in the second. Baldwin connects with wide receiver Garrett Wilson to make it 17-10 Cavs at halftime. Baldwin and Wilson continue to do what they do best, again connecting on a 29-yard touchdown, as there isn't even a single O'Connor defender anywhere near Wilson. Wilson would later add a 9-yard touchdown run, and whatever college gets Wilson is going to get a pretty good football player. Cavs win 38-17 and will face number 1 seeded Katy next week back at the Alamo Dome.
There's nothing like being able to coach in a playoff game.
Stay in the Alamo Dome, but move to 5A Division II. McAllen facing Cal Ann. McAllen perceived by most as a weak, undefeated team, and they proved these naysayers wrong Saturday. From the first drive of the game, A.J. Julian with a 30-yard touchdown run off the jet sweep. 7-0 Knights. Max Perez would keep the scoring going, adding a 30-yard touchdown of his own, making it 20-0 Knights. It wasn't just the Knights offense that came to play, but its defense, holding the team that averages normally 48 points per game to only 7, as well as limiting them to 38 yards of total offense in the second half. McAllen will move on to the state semifinals, the first time in school history, and will face College Station next Saturday at NRG Stadium. And that's your look at sports. Have a good night.